So thanks again for the people who are becoming veteran room moms. It's helpful to have people who have done this before, and to the new faces, thanks for jumping in. Of all the years, it's, you really need help. So thanks to the new people who are bravely taking on a little more work. And for people who are new to the role, we normally do this in person. We normally just sit around in the classroom and just kind of get to know each other, talk about what we're supposed to do. It's a real free-flowing discussion, so please ask anything. Send me a text, send Cindy an email if there's something that we're not making clear. Because we really just, at the end of the day, I think everyone is busy. We're all trying to do this in our 15 minutes of free time. So I don't want anyone to ever feel confused or frustrated and just kind of like, this is a pain because I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So, the nuts and bolts of this job really is just to be a liaison between the teacher and the other parents in your classroom. And that probably seems overly simplified, but honestly, a lot of the things that we read, like in the emails I send you or in just your small talk with your other classroom parents, sometimes that doesn't get communicated to the teacher unless someone actually does it. So just kind of always being eyes and ears and remembering that we kind of have a right hand and a left hand that kind of keeps the classroom going. And this year it's so tricky because no one is in the classroom except the kids and the teacher. So just remember, it's even more amplified that parents may feel a little less connected. I certainly feel at moments like I'm just sitting my kids into the classroom and they're gone. So just think through that, if you would, as every time you're sending an email, just remember, we're kind of all just living in this world a little bit more at a distance. So try to keep that in mind. Can you guys all hear me pretty well?
Yeah. Yep. Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. So I have 3 points that I think are super important right now. The sign up genius and the classroom opportunities, the parties, specifically Halloween, and then just the other parts of this job just to keep in mind that are ongoing. So why don't we talk about the sign up genius first? People may remember back in the day, these were physical posters that we all signed up on. The good part about when we did posters, and Jen Wojcik may be on the call, she did this job before me. And she wrote all the posters out. They lived in the classroom for each teacher, and the teacher could reference at any point which parent was doing the Halloween party and who was the room parent, and everything was kind of old fashioned, but just sitting on, their wall for them to see. That didn't really work well for the parents. So now we've migrated to the Sign Up Genius, the electronic platform, which is great for us. But remember, the teachers don't see that quite maybe as much as we do. So I would just beg and implore you guys to make sure you are communicating with your teacher. I'm not reaching out to each individual teacher. So that's where I'm going to lean on you. The link that each of you got from me, please make sure you opened it. Please make sure it is the right class. I had to do this all manually, probably because of my own lack of familiarity with all of this. But, each classroom now has their own sign up opportunity for things over the course of the year. So there's a couple of things we all need to do with that. Look at it, make sure it's right. I think I've seen most of them go out and most people have begun to sign up. But if you have not sent it out, hopefully after this quick conversation today, everyone will feel like they're equipped to go ahead and communicate to the class and send it out. And then the final loop to close it is just to make sure you either in a separate email, if you want to type up, who's doing what party for your teacher, you can send it that way. I was thinking I would probably just send the teacher the link as well. That way they can periodically check it. But my message to everyone is that those links are specific for each classroom and they're not published anywhere else. So I have them and you have them. So just make sure you kind of, you disperse that link and check it because you completely own it, if that makes sense.
Hey, Lauren, this is Jen Wojcik here.
Hey, Jen.
Just a quick thing. I know the teachers too sometimes prefer you guys, once all the signups are complete or filled in, go ahead and print it or just send an email with the subject line class party hosts or whatever it is so that they can quickly reference it. Cause I feel like things just get lost, get bumped down, and then they're trying to have to, track it down. And they're used to having the hard copy for so many years in their room. So I think they still like it, or at least send them an email with, just something separate from the sign up genius. Like, here are the names, here are the parties.
Yeah. Just like
they
the
can
nuts
print
and
it out,
bolts.
or they can just have, for quick reference.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think I can emphasize it enough. They don't know what's going on unless we tell them. And it's just a, super quick exercise, but like Jen said, make sure they know, because they feel, especially like, I've had Miss Hamill now for 2 years, and she really is a very methodical, veteran teacher, and she wants that information well in advance. So now, maybe after this phone call or right now, if you've got a second, look at your link and see if Halloween is covered. If it's not, that's a great reason to make sure you send another note out to your teacher or your class and ask someone to kind of step up and volunteer, which is probably a good segue into what on earth Halloween will look like this year. And I find that people sometimes are not volunteering because they just are confused and they don't know what it entails. So a couple quick sentences. If you think what I've sent you is helpful, please feel free to always cut and paste, or, short and sweet, slim it down, make it appropriate for your age group. But I think sometimes the block for people helping is they just don't know what you're really asking them to do. So Cindy and I and Susan have tried to think about a way to do Halloween that is doable, still fun for the kids, but also let's just remember these poor teachers are juggling a lot. So for right now, what it's going to look like is that we all need to, or whoever is doing the Halloween party for your class, they need to send in everything in the morning when they drop the kids off in carpool. So I'm picturing like a grocery tote, just one bag that goes out the door with the student. And I mean, truly and simply, everything needs to be individually wrapped, and it needs to be pretty easy. Think more like a snack party, maybe less of a true lunch party, since it's going to be going in at 9:00. Susan, even knowing that, still suggested if people want to do Chick-fil-A, get a little 4-pack of nugget, the 4-pack nugget box for each kid. I haven't called Chick-fil-A, but I'm sure they will be getting all these inquiries. So, I bet you could work with them and they could do it to our, to meet our needs. But just remember, it's going to sit in the box for a couple hours. So full permission from me and Cindy to make this a kind of nibble fun party that is not maybe super high in protein and doesn't have all the, fresh fruit we might send. It's really okay. This year, I think everyone's rolling with just the different kind of requirements. And I've set these parties up many times. They can be so cute, and I love all the links that the parents have gone to, but let's not expect the teachers to do, the same level of prep, because they're not going to have the time or the capability to do that. So just super easy, super streamlined. Cindy, what would you say? Maybe like a tablecloth and a few sprinkled decorations at most, like
maybe a tablecloth, and then if you want, do some like little decorative little snack plates, and then really the kids all they want is the snack anyway, but they also like the little decor. But yeah, I think some like Halloween themed plates or whatever the holiday is, and the tablecloth. And other than that, I mean, we can't expect the teacher to really decorate.
No, I don't think it's going to end up having the result that we would desire, because it's just going to get kind of hurried and stressful. Miss Hamill said for my middle, Abigail, who's in pre-K, she said they're not going to be trick-or-treating from classroom to classroom this year. So she said if we wanted to also send in a little candy, like in a cute cellophane bag that can kind of be the substitute. So what I would
Can I say something when you're,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
Keep
go
going
ahead.
and I'll after you're done.
Well, I was going to say, I've got 2 active students at St. James, and I do think this is an excellent time to really clarify with your teacher, because they all have slightly different ways they want to do this. So before you go buy everything, or before the person who signed up, fully goes, I would just always put the caveat in just to check with the teachers on how they see this working and what they would like from you, especially for this first one. We're all kind of feeling our way together.
Question, and I'm sure that maybe this would have been answered already. Is there not a way to take this off the teachers, that the parents could go in at like 8:30 when no other students are in there and just set it up before school?
Well, I love the idea. I think the challenge is that they still have to be in that classroom all morning before the party starts.
Oh, I thought you said that they start right in the morning. Sorry, I must have missed it.
No, we need to send in all of the goods in the morning, just because they can't answer the door to 25 parents bringing things throughout the morning.
Got it.
Right,
And
I mean,
then-
Cindy, am I right in that? I think the challenge is just keeping the body count the same. We just can't have all the parents running in and out, even if it's just handing a couple bags in. Miss Winfrey or whoever, Miss Cartwright, who's opening the door, still has to kind of run all those things around. So streamlining, I think, is just the goal.
Got it. And then also, I mean, the other day too, the Dollar Tree is like immensely amazing for spending $10 and getting everything added. And you don't even have to bring all the food crap. Like,
I would agree. I think the kids love the little tiny things. So there's a cute little Halloween notepad that's $1. That's kind of like a party favor kind of style thing. I think the kids, or my kids, think all that stuff is super cool.
I mean, can we veer away a little bit from all the snacky type food, like just sending in a bunch of like super snacky foods, and like encourage less food, and like just send your kids with whatever, and just like one small treat instead of, wouldn't that be easier than having to send the Chick-fil-A and all that? Like, wouldn't one treat plus a little decorations be more streamlined than having different classes bring Chick-fil-A and whatnot?
There are absolutely times where I think we just pump food and waste money into these parties. But I think there is an expectation of what we've done. So I'm very on board with whatever you want to do for your classroom. I would just communicate it to the parents that this is going to be a food light and a, however you want to say it, like there'll be a little gift bag of Halloween toys or non-food treats. Just communicate it that way. Like the pre-K kids still bring in their lunch boxes, and the younger kids still bring in their own snack. As long as it's communicated, I think anything can go. You just don't want parents
Lauren?
expecting one thing, but then getting another. Yeah.
Lauren, this is Liz Hayes.
Hey, Liz.
Hey, I was just going to say, I was researching, they have like really inexpensive, like bento box type, or like to-go box foods on like Amazon and stuff. And I think I saw them at the dollar store as well. Like you can maybe just get, like, suggest little mini bento boxes. You put a pack of chips and a cupcake and whatever.
Or like hummus and carrots for Halloween. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Like that would make it
absolutely.
so
I mean,
you don't have to worry.
Especially some of these classes are like 6 and 8 kids. So I think it's doable as a mom to send in something that isn't just maybe sugar crap throwing at the kids. I'm all for that, because I will say I've been the one buying the food, setting it up, and watching the kids not touch a thing.
Right.
And that doesn't feel great either. Especially since we're not going to be there to see it. There should be no pressure of making it, over the top. This is not the year for that. So I think all these suggestions are completely in line with where we need to be. And I would really just say, communicate, this is what we're doing. And I think everyone will be fine with that.
I just have one more question. And for like pre-K, is the intent for the party to be like during the snack time, and then they'll still have their lunches?
So the only teacher I've seen direct info on this is again from Miss Hamill. for her
Okay.
pre-K, and she said that it'll be over lunch. So
Okay.
in the past, because I also had her last year, we would kind of, the kids would not bring a separate lunch, and Halloween or whatever party would be the lunch. But that was also a little bit of work because you had to bring in some real food for, you know, kids to eat more than one nugget. So I think personally, I would say they need to still bring in their real lunches,
Yeah.
given the limitations, and this should just be more of a, you know, supplemental thing.
Thanks.
Yeah. I'm all for anything that is not sugar. These kids are going to be bouncing off the walls. Last year I did actually a little skeleton thing with hummus and all kind of vegetables, and the kids, I mean, they all had tried a few, I can say. So I support creative packing and planning. I think the teachers also like that. And again, we're not going to be there to see whether they eat it or not. So if it's, you know, cute, but maybe not actually ingested, I think there's no harm in that. At least we're trying, and the teachers love that we're not just literally sending in all chocolate. And one other thing I'll say, make sure, even given Halloween, that you're still remembering the no peanut, no nuts, because sometimes that gets snuck into more of the candy than we realize.
I have a quick question. This is Caroline Frost DeSilva. What is the deal with food being prepackaged or kind of, you know, already done versus homemade things? It sounds like in the past you've done more homemade. And I saw something, maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but in an email from Susan, something was saying about you can bring in homemade stuff, but
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think there's like a super hard and fast, like written rule on the subject. I think technically we are encouraged to do, I guess, either pre-packaged, like things that literally come from the supplier in that way. So, you know, even like the Little Debbie's something is still sealed up, but I'm a baker and I like doing my own homemade things. I think if you do it and you use, you know, your good hygiene in your kitchen and you put it in a bag, we're not going to like ban it. I think that's a personal choice.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure to.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of cute Pinterest ideas. I don't want to take all those away from people. Just, you know, be mindful.
Pretty cute things that can be done with
Yeah.
Halloween.
Let's not ruin, the sky's the limit. But also, if full permission to make this like easy 1, 2, 3, if that's where people are.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? I know this is hard. I'd love it if you guys can see who the Halloween person or people are for your class and try to communicate this. And if you feel like you don't want to take it on by yourself, copy me in and I can be on that thread with the people in your room. Because again, I think we're all trying to learn as we go here. And I would assume the same will hold for Christmas. And after that, we'll reevaluate. Any questions?
Hey, Lauren,
Yeah.
This is Megan Filipovich. How are you?
Hey, Megan, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Okay, so this is probably just self-explanatory, but probably nothing that needs to be refrigerated because I'm sure the teachers won't have time to pop over and pop anything in the fridge. So even like
no, but I think you
cheeses
could
or whatever.
I think you could pack like an ice pack in the bottom and put something. I mean, pack it like if you were going to be out of the house for a couple hours. Maybe
That's a
not.
good idea.
Yeah, I mean, adult food like deviled eggs probably wouldn't fly, but for anything for the kids, I mean, again, I keep saying hummus, but pouches or things like that can just be cool. I think that would be fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's keep moving because I know people have other things to do. So Halloween's covered. The last little thing that is on the docket for the room parent job. Again, it's a lot simpler this year because we just don't have the book fair. We don't have the auction. We don't have the carnival. Some things we'll see where spring gets us, but right now it is just real straightforward. I think I sent out the birthday list. Please make sure you look at that. It would just be a travesty to not acknowledge our teachers on their birthdays. And it can be super simple. We've already had one birthday in my toddler class and Liz Hayes and I work together. There is a list of the teachers' favorite things that reference that if you want. It kind of includes restaurants, if they like flowers, if they like getting their nails done, if they like Starbucks, just some super easy ideas that you can borrow from. We asked the people in the class if they wanted to help contribute. I think most everyone gave $10. It was super helpful just to have that to then buy flowers. And we gave Miss Olga a bottle of wine, then a gift card for dinner. It doesn't have to even be that organized, but just make sure your parents know when the teacher's birthday is and work together to send in cards. We never want people to feel pressure to do anything monetary. Just truly acknowledging the gesture is all that we ask, or acknowledging the birthday with a gesture is all that we ask. It means a lot to the teachers. So check that, save it in your calendar. There's also a Teacher Appreciation Week in March, and that was on the sign up. We're not exactly sure what that will look like, but we do need parents to help us send in a couple different things because we spend a whole week acknowledging our teachers. So a lot more to come on that. And you all probably noticed I got the date. I put a wrong digit in there. So it's March 9th through 13th. And so much more to come, but just try to remember that that is looming. And we will ask for some help on that. This is like the Cliff Note version of room parenting. I think that's just all we really need to focus on right now. Any other big questions from people who've done this before? Small questions. Please email me or Cindy for anything. I don't want anyone to feel like they're floating out there. We meet as a board once a month. So we have a meeting next Tuesday. That's a good time that I kind of will hear things that need to be communicated. So look for an email from me at minimum once a month. That way, kind of, it'll be a chain of command kind of going from Susan and Cindy down to the rest of the board. I will be kind of your ears and eyes, and I'll send everyone an email alerting them of things that, FYI, you should know this. Also communicate this to your classes. So look for that. We don't have a complete expectation of like a weekly communication to your parents, but I would say at bare minimum, please reach out once a month. Ahead of parties, obviously, you need to be reaching out and making sure the people who signed up remembered that they're doing it. So again, it's kind of a fluid expectation on the communication, but just pretend you're on the other side of it. If you're wondering what the heck is going on with this party, it probably means that everyone in the room should be talking. So a group email is a great way just to stay in touch. We often encourage people to get together for a coffee or like a playground hangout, some other after school time just to acquaint more. Sometimes we get together in the evening. All of that's a little tricky this year, but I would say read your parent group, gauge what you think the interest is, and at the very least, just make sure you're connecting via email. And you're certainly allowed to get together, in the way that everyone feels appropriate. For one of my classes, Leslie Averett's hosting us just on the porch just to have coffee tomorrow. So I do think the idea of the community and knowing who's in the class is really important because we just don't have the whole highs in the hallway that we used to have. So feel free to take on that charge however you want. Just being mindful, obviously, of everything that's going on.
Lauren.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. I know in years past, the teachers have given the room parents like a list of supplies they could use in the classroom. I don't know. Have you already covered that? Like, should they reach out to their teacher and ask if? Sorry.
Yeah, actually, it's funny, Cindy. I've never had that come up, but I am sure that they could always use things from us. So what I would do, and I guess I should have spelled this out crystally clear, make sure you introduce yourself to your teacher. I and the room parent, or we together are your room parents for this year. Check in about Halloween. Check in about any special things. Is there any, unique allergy in your class you need to be aware of? That would be another great time to say, is there anything that you guys need that I can help the parents? I can help pull together from the parents. Who knows? Maybe in all the pandemic stuff, there's needs for wipes or other things, or a stash of masks for the classroom. So
Yeah.
by all means.
And everything from like extra glue sticks to some
Yes.
markers to because a lot of times the teachers do have an allowance, but
Yeah.
that stuff adds up. So, and in the
I think
beginning,
it's a great idea.
they may not need stuff, but maybe that'd be a good thing to do, like check in January too, to see if they, and the parents happily donate things and pick it
Yeah,
up.
absolutely. So that's really it's a great reason to have a conversation with your teachers. I find that texting the teacher after school hours works fairly well for me. Because I just think that's a quicker way to stay connected, but try anything. I just don't want these teachers to feel like they're isolated from us, even though they physically aren't seeing us as much. And that reminds me, one last thing, and I promise we'll go, guys. The gifts for the teachers, this is something that we've centralized over the last couple of years. So at the end of the year for a Christmas holiday gift, and then for a end of the school year gift in May, we have all actually already contributed when we paid our tuition. We give each teacher $100 in December and then again in May. And I'll have to clarify exactly how that's going to work this year. Typically, we go pick them up from Jenny Castro in the front office, each room parent. I don't know how that's going to work exactly, but just make a mental note that will be something that either you'll handle or I'll let you know that it has been handled. But every single teacher gets that from kind of the collective parent unit that we've all already paid for. Gifts on top of that are completely up to your discretion. Work with the other parents in your class, send a sweet note if you want to send flowers. Small things like that are great, but just know that that is covered.
Can I ask a question since I'm the
Sure.
first time doing this? Where did everybody get the contact information for the class, like for the parents? Is that something the teacher sent or?
Yeah, so what I did, Sonata, was I just took the email list that the teachers are sending to us weekly, and I just took the teachers off. That's how I guess I got the emails.
When he comes to me, I think she does the right thing.
Blind.
Yes. Blind.
I would just reply. So I guess I'm going to admit I'm a little bit too lazy to like type in each one. I think it was in the folder that I got maybe in September, but I would just reply to your teacher and ask if she could just cut and paste and send you all the names.
I did. I asked her. I just didn't want her to do any more work than she already does with our children. So I thought
it's very fair, but that's probably the best way to get it, right, Cindy?
Yeah, our teacher, because she didn't put it in our initial. Usually, they put a roster in your folder on the, and our teacher didn't do that. So I just emailed her, and she just took a photo of the roster and sent it.
I did ask her. If there was a way for me to get it other than having her.
We can get it for you.
You could she email Jenny Castro?
Yeah, just email Jenny and she'll send it to you.
I think it's J Castro. If you give her a day or two, she'll get back to you.
That's fine. And then as far as the party, since I'm already late on sending everything, I do Halloween so this way.
Please don't feel like anyone's late. This year is so different, but I would say if you haven't sent out your link to your parents, obviously now is the time. And if there's any problem with it, let me know. I sent someone the wrong link, so she corrected me. There's definitely some human error involved in this. So just if it doesn't seem right or there's any questions, just literally please let me know. And copy me on anything, you guys. I want to help.
Hey, Lauren, this is Jen. I can email Jenny, but any chance Lisa Nordine's birthday? She's obviously subbing for the pre-K class for Christy.
No, I would ask Jenny.
Okay.
She's not on my master list, but yeah, I was actually curious what room she was in because I'd heard her name, but that's good to know she's for Miss Christie for now.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to Jenny.
Yeah, absolutely. And if your teacher was left off the favorite things list, I think we asked them to give us their information. There could be a chance that one of the teachers didn't get back to Meredith Stelos in time on that. So just let us know and we can kind of ping them again and let them know it's for their own benefit.
Hey,
Okay, guys.
Hey, it's Carrie Cannett.
Hi,
Can
Carrie.
you guys hear me?
I can.
Okay, perfect. I'm sorry, I've had a bad connection a little bit. So I am first time room mom and first time to St. James. So thank you all so much for having this call because this is super helpful. Just a quick question about birthdays. Do we normally do something for the specials teachers like Miss Library and stuff? Do the classes do something on their birthdays? Or kind of up to our discretion?
I think it is up to your discretion. I know like the permanent floaters, like upstairs, Carol, people who are, your kids see every day. I think it really is nice to be a little more organized in that effort, but that's really just kind of a as you see fit situation.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I mean, even like a little kid and a card from your child, I think Miss Library especially, like that would mean so much to her.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Also,
Absolutely.
I think that if I'm not mistaken, they actually get the $100 bonus as well. So they're
Correct.
not forgotten.
All faculty, everyone on staff for St. James gets that, or for the preschool gets that. So if you have any questions, let me know. But like even Cindy, remind me our janitor's name.
Oh, Rogelio?
Yeah, I mean we include everyone in that. So do you know that we're inclusive in that regard?
Okay, perfect.
Yep. Okay, guys, it's 10:34. I was hoping for 30 minutes. I don't want to hurry anyone. I just know we all have things to do. And this is recorded, so I'll send out a recording if anyone wants to hear my voice again. I'm also going to try to send a quick bullet point email to people who missed it. There are a few co-room parents, so if you are kind of the person who was the representative for today listening, make sure you circle back with your partner. And just generally, thank you all so much for taking on one more thing. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yep. And just stay in touch with us and we'll do the same with you. And everyone have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Thanks again.
Thanks.
Thanks, y'all.